I'm here with head rowing coach Jan LaRiviere. Coach, it's been a few weeks since you guys last competed. Just talk a little bit about training and practice during that time.
Well, we've been having a lovely summer. The summery conditions the last couple of weeks have been great rowing weather down on the Snake River, and the team seems to be motivated and ready to go, and it's just sort of been fun.
How would you say the team is doing as far as this time in the season from seasons past or from what you expected from this group?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect because we've spent the last few years being a mature team, like quite a few juniors and seniors compared to freshmen and sophomores. And this year we were vastly outnumbered, like the youth on the team, big, huge recruiting class and lots of freshmen and sophomores. And so you don't really know, and I still don't know what to expect, but the mood is good and they really want to work together, and I see a lot of the sort of team aspects kind of coming together. And so it's when you have a young group, you can always say, well, you don't have the maturity and blah blah blah, but you also have a steeper learning curve, I think. And so far I've been seeing lots of improvement, and I don't know what's going to happen this week, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because what matters is how much we can get our act together before May. And they're doing their part. They're working really hard, and they're embracing changes and learning from the upperclassmen. And I feel like our leadership's been really good. So, yeah, like everything's ticking along.
And you mentioned this weekend you guys head to the head of the lake.
Yeah.
It's a staple on your guys' schedule every year. Just talk a little bit about that regatta and what you like about it.
Yeah, well, it's obviously pretty great every time you can race through Montlake Cut, and there's plenty of cougs over there, so it feels like kind of a home course in a lot of ways, because there's just so much support from the parents and friends and family. And they, some of our alumni parents are actually going to make a sort of a brunch for us. Shout out to Mama Jones, who just keeps coming through with organizing the group over there. And so that's really nice for us to see. There'll be a lot of alumni around too, and I think that's also good for our current team members to get to know them a little bit. And the races, obviously we're going to race Washington, and Oregon State's coming this year, and it's our first time seeing Pac-12 competition, so that will be good.
Is it nice to see them? I mean, it's only November, but is it nice to see them now before you will see them in the spring?
Yeah, but the race format's so different that it's a totally different ball of wax. Racing 5K versus racing 2K, 2,000 meters, and but it's a measure. And fall racing, and for me, is just really breaking up the boredom of training. It's like we have to do a lot of miles, we have to do a lot of work, and if you don't ever get to go test what you've been working on, it can get pretty kind of mundane. So that's the big thing, is just getting out there, and you get practice. Like a race that's not Pac-12s or not NCAAs is just the highest form of training, and it brings out a little bit more adrenaline and a little bit more oomph. And so I think it's good. It's just like if you're a fireman, like you just sit around the fire hall polishing your equipment until there's a fire. And it's time for us to quit polishing our equipment and go out and see what all our training has done for us.
That's great. One last question. You mentioned the alums and the parents of the alums helping out. Now, there was an alumni boat, a few boats that were in the head of the Charles, and it sounds like they're doing a lot of racing. What's it like just to see all the alums come together and do a lot of racing together? And see?
Well, I mean, it was amazing. The head of the Charles, we had our first Coug in the Great 8, which was made up of 8 women from all over the world, and they ended up winning the Elite 8. Yeva was in that. And she was with some of the best scullers in the world. And that was pretty cool. And then Nicole raced for Canada, the London Training Center boat. And then, we had the alumni boat with Rebecca Burns and Savannah Davis raced in the single, and so there was. It's great. It's it's important to me that the love of rowing is as strong when they leave this program as when they start. And I think it's evidenced by the number of people we have in coaching and the number of people we have continuing on with their racing careers and training and just being part of the rowing community for long after, that they leave us. They are still, you can still spot the Cougar rowing gear out all over the place, all over the world. So that's fun.